Hi everyone, welcome back to the Book Brood, and this is going to be a weekly, bi-weekly, I don't know, we might go bi-weekly wrap-ups, but here we go, wrap-up. So, go ahead and start.
Okay, the first thing I finished was Annihilation by Jeff VanderMeer, and this is book 1 in the Southern Reach trilogy. This is a very eerie, interesting read. This is about an area that has had multiple exploration teams go in, and each team that comes back has a different account of what happened. A lot of them go crazy. Some have like extremely aggressive forms of cancer. Like, it's just very eerie. And this follows a group of 4 scientists who go in to Area X, and it's about their experience in Area X. This reminded me a lot of the old PC game Myst, and it was really kind of terrifying but confusing at the same time, and it left me really uncomfortable at the end, and I need some time and distance before I decide whether I'm going to continue on in the series.
Well, you were very into it, reading it, and then I remember you were a little upset the way it ended.
I didn't like the ending. Yeah.
But it seems like
but it
you've
is a
stewed
trilogy
on it a little more. Oh, it is?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So.
First thing I've read is Birds of Prey. This is Blood and Circuits by Gail Simone. This one tied up a lot of the out-of-order reading that I've been doing in Birds of Prey, the Gail Simone run. But this was a really fun one because Birds of Prey, Black Canary, sorry, I'm kind of sick. Black Canary kind of takes a backseat in this, and it lets some of the other characters shine. The team starts to get larger, and so that's a lot of fun. The new characters are a lot of fun, especially Barda. She's this lady right here. She's kind of one of those big, strong, types, and she just has an I don't care attitude.
Nice.
And, yeah, it's a lot of fun. Adds a lot of character to the missions.
That's awesome.
So I rated that one 4 stars.
Yeah, it looks like the team's getting really big.
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome. Yeah, I don't remember what I rated Annihilation, but the next thing I picked up, because I needed something light after reading a bunch of creepy stuff, is Amulet, book 1, The Stonekeeper, and this is by Kazu Kibuishi?
Kibuishi?
Kibuishi? So this is a children's graphic novel series that I have heard recommended on BookTube, and I was a little hesitant to pick it up because it doesn't look like anything I would normally be drawn to, but I actually really, really enjoyed this. For a children's graphic novel, it was surprisingly dark, but it's about 2 children who find an amulet that has interesting powers, and they're sucked into this world where there are different monsters and different, there's a bad guy, and they have to go on this adventure to save someone, and it was really good. The art kind of feels fairly generic for a children's graphic novel. It feels like something that I've seen multiple times, but the story was really engaging, and I very much enjoyed this. So I will be continuing on in the series.
All right. The next thing I read was Wrinkle in Time by Madeleine. I finally finished this one. It took me a long time reading through it. We started reading through it first with the kids. Glad I finally wrapped it up. This is a fun kid's story, and it does a great job of presenting some harder aspects of science fiction at a kid's level. It keeps the story engaging. The chapters are a bit long for a children's book, but the story is exciting, and even putting some scarier elements in there was really great. My one criticism about this is the author tried to go light-handed with a religious message, but the way it was done made it feel more heavy-handed. So it wasn't throughout the book, there would just suddenly be this moment with a really sudden, really hard-hitting religious message. Just like out of nowhere, just like a hammer coming down. Just like, whoa, Like, oh, okay, and then it moved on very quickly.
Right.
You know, it was just there and done, but it does that several times, but it's so it doesn't fit with the overall aspect of the story. So that brought me out of the story in those moments. But 3 stars on this one.
Nice. And the last thing I read was the Sowing, book 2 in the Torch Keeper series by Stephen Dos Santos. And I love this series. I don't know. I was hesitant to pick up the next one, but then I stewed on it for a few days and realized that, like, I needed it so badly. And so I've definitely put a hold on the 3rd and final one at the library. And I'm going to actually be buying this trilogy. I'm really enjoying this. And since it's a sequel, I can't really explain very much about it, but I am loving that it is its own story. The first one felt very much like the Hunger Games with a few twists, but and there are a few similarities.
Mm-hmm.
But there were a lot less YA tropes in this, I felt like. The story is slightly, more than slightly, convenient at some times. But I feel like that's typical YA, and I don't know, what can I say? I'm absolutely loving these. So I've given both of them 4 stars.
Nice. She's been flying through them when she gets them. Very fast read.
Absolutely.
I actually have one more, and I secretly read this book only for brownie points. And it's Veronica Roth's Divergent. I finished this week.
Are you serious?
Yes, I read this because I want you to be able to talk about this book
Aww,
with me. And
that's so sweet.
I needed to understand what it was about. And I get why people like this.
Are you Team Fortress? There's no other team.
Well,
so.
Oh, well, yeah,
so,
right.
Yes.
Yeah, 4. Yeah, all about him. I get why people like this. You know, it's coming of age story, and I think more than anyone would like to admit, we would kind of like to be able to fit into a box where we could be surrounded by completely like-minded people, but obviously the cohesion doesn't stick, and it's this was actually able to be kind of more its own thing than. There's definitely a lot of elements of more classic dystopian sci-fi stuff in here, but it was able to pull off that it was its own thing.
More of an original twist.
Right, or
in a broad dystopian.
I guess just it was able to kind of make its own thing, but still it can fall into that groove of just dystopian, but it does make its own groove to its own degree. At least to more of a degree than I was expecting. But, yeah, I mean...
How do you feel about Uriah?
3 stars for what it is. He was like the confirming influence of so he was like the Dauntless Born, but he was like that force that was, that was there to convince her that she belonged. So, yeah, he was that friend.
Yes.
I felt like Peter's a character that was just always there to be a bad guy when needed, and obviously going forward he's going to be the good guy when it's going to be convenient to, or when they conveniently need to be saved. I know it's going to at least happen one more time because he had the information.
Yeah, but you gotta know that the movies are so much different than the books.
Right. I don't know if I'm gonna
read
Insurgent because I know how panned Allegiant is, so why should I?
Right.
I'm gonna jump off the train before it wrecks.
Well, then I'll explain you a thing. So Triss has the option to shoot Peter, and he's like, okay, well, I guess I get it because I'm a total asshole. And she's like, I'm not actually going to shoot you. You're going to have to suffer through with some long-term consequences. And then at one point, he does save her life in a whole, like, fine, you saved my life. I saved your life. It's not like we're friends or anything. Don't expect this to ever happen again.
Yeah.
So that was a convenient, I guess, thing.
You can see it coming 1,000 miles off, is what I'm saying.
That's all right.
Anyway, I read Divergent by Veronica Roth.
Super happy about that. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Now I can talk to you about it.
Exactly.
And you get it.
I get it. I get it completely. Yeah. All right. So that was our weekly wrap up. Thank you for staying with us, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.